put in the parking lots. And so now it's being brought to debate. Is that correct? Okay.
Also, you guys have mentioned the events of September of 2006, but those, one question I have about it is that it was during orientation week when the campus wasn't really filled with people. I feel like that has a great deal to do with it because there weren't as many people around and watching. Is there a significant number of incidents besides the assaults during orientation last year to necessitate the action?
Well, one of the things in general, I don't know the exact numbers by like parking lot or residence hall, but in general, parking lots are pretty well known to be like one of the most insecure places on a campus anywhere. You know, residential areas for the most part are more secure because, you know, take an example, if you were someone about to commit a crime in Prescott, you'd be in the middle, you have all these windows where people are living looking out on you, and that's a pretty big crime deterrent. But in a parking lot, it's a reasonably unsafe place where you have some people that come and go for, you know, a minute, maybe at most, but nobody is there to watch you and see if there's anything happening.
Yeah.
I would just like to mention that the CLEAR report doesn't actually specifically talk about car break-ins. As specific, it talks about break-ins in general. So I think statistically, we still have an issue where we don't know as students how many car break-ins there are because the CLEAR report itself doesn't tell how many car break-ins there are. So I think before anyone can make an educated decision, there needs to be more statistical information on car break-ins.
If there are any more questions about backgrounds, we'll address those now, but I would like to move on to ironing out the agenda for the meeting. Yeah.
Just to put it out there, also in the CLEAR report, there is nothing for 2006 that's reported as an aggravated assault anywhere on campus. So maybe September incidents were reported, but no aggravated assaults at all in 2006. Reported at least.
Up at the top.
Would these cameras be monitored 24/7, or would they be used to go back and look at critical data as evidence?
The most likely plan is that there would be monitors in public safety, and that an officer or dispatcher or whoever is in there would be able to look at that. And it's my understanding as well that that footage will be recorded so that if there were a crime that someone didn't see while it was happening, that they could then go back and review the footage. Is that a correct statement?
One of the reasons that we're having this meeting is so that we can plan how we as the community want these cameras to be placed, be monitored. So that is up for discussion. I'm going to stop now and start getting some of the general issues and concerns because I think that can be an easy transition to from what we've been talking about. So like general, like 1-2 word phrases that people are concerned about. Starting right here.
I would say my first concern is that Hampshire campus is not like your average campus. We are a strong community here. The people here are not in any way, well, I mean, they're similar to Amherst and other 5 college communities, but we have a unique community here that is very self-respecting and very self-aware. My second concern being that security cameras or surveillance cameras, I think is a more appropriate term, are going to remove accountability from the people who are responsible for our safety and instead put this screen in front of them. And like, it just seems that I think I wanted to say it's going to remove accountability in a major way.
Okay.
Thank you.
So next issue.
My concern is about the financial impact of getting security facilities on campus. Shouldn't that be a more important concern than putting surveillance cameras up?
You're here.
And another concern of mine is surveillance cameras don't make me personally feel more safe. What makes me feel more safe is knowing that the people around me are respectable, people who won't do things like break into people's cars or assault.
The 2 concerns that I would like to raise are surveillance abuse and discriminatory profiling.
I guess the concern that I want to raise is Hampshire being a place where our motto is to know is not enough? And I think a large part, I don't want to speak for, you know, anyone but myself, but I think it's a general, you know, at least among some people on campus, that relying on policing, like heavier policing for our safety, runs counter to any type of trying to come up with more community-based types of policing or safety enforcement, right? So yeah, it just like, maybe even like, I don't want to get too like abstractly talking about society, but like legitimizing a lot of what's going on in the rest of the country, in our cities. Surveillance cameras and that just whole like heavier policing of space is a very, bad thing sometimes. Very ridiculous.
In the back.
My main concern with this is that I think that if we put up security cameras in the parking lots, it's a very slippery slope. And why I say slippery slope is that people don't congregate and people don't do things that may be illegal or disreputable in the parking lots generally. They do happen in the quads, and I don't think I have to really explain what that is. And I think that if we put cameras up in the parking lots, one violent act, one really heinous sexual assault will basically cause them to be expanded into the quads and into the buildings. I think that it's, once you put them on campus, they will be seen as a panacea, and just one nasty crime will be all it will take to put that into the quads, and I think that was really hurt.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about the cameras being just in the parking lots, and to my knowledge, there haven't been many incidences where assault or battery or sexual assault have occurred in the parking lots, but they're more directed in the woods or among the community in which we live. So is this for the safety of our vehicles, or is this really for the safety of us? Because if it's just cameras for our vehicles, I don't think it's a necessary expenditure.
Yeah.
Going on what Vera said, I'm really worried that this would set a certain precedent. And in terms of a lot of the different crimes that have happened on campus, including theft and different violent assaults, those happen much more frequently in residential areas than any other. And my big concern would be, as you stated, that this would lead to saying, well, but we have, okay, see, we've already set these cameras up, and that's fine, and there's no problem with it. So clearly there's no problem with us putting more up. And very quickly, I could imagine those cameras being installed throughout the residential areas, because those are where a lot of the different break-ins and thefts have happened in the past.
Okay, so we have the issue that putting cameras in the parking lots could open the door for putting them in other locations on campus. If we add a few more issues to the table, then we can start addressing those. So let's, in the back.
Also, what would constitute as a policy like, say I'm in the parking lot, they can see me smoking a cigarette or like fucking with a bike or something like that, and then just coming in and then disturbing our daily activities because they feel.
Can I ask you to repeat what you're saying? I really can't hear it. All I heard was you saying smoking a cigarette. So what words I heard?
Just like what we're constituting to like bring public safety awareness to the actual parking lot, like just the idea that I'm on surveillance and they can like question, they can see what I'm doing in a parking lot. Like I just have a feeling that that can disrupt like my daily anything I do in the parking lot.